Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tiladisanaika from Osaka University, and today I would like to present my report on attending PerCom 2023. Uh, PerCom 2023 was held in Georgia State University in Atlanta from 13th to 17th March this year, and there were 268 registered attendees, a considerable drop from the last year's number of attendees. However, in this year we did not have the online options to attend the conference. We have to go to the venue uh, in person to attend this conference. And we also had 27 conference papers, full papers, and 86 workshop papers. And as always, 2 keynote speakers. Now let's take a look at the number of participants by country, and, this time, as the conference was held in USA, we had the majority of participants from USA, 69 participants, and quite surprisingly, the second place goes to Japan with 57 attendees this time. Which was quite surprising. And from Germany we had 38, and from Italy 28, and so on. And in the main track of the program we had 152 papers that were submitted, but only 27 were accepted for publication, which makes it 17% acceptance rate this year. And as always, PerCom has two-phase review process, which means after first round of reviews, it will be followed up by discussions and meta reviews. And all papers received at least 3 reviews, and 50% received 4 to 5 reviews. In my case, I received 3 reviews. And many good quality papers that quite didn't make the cut to become full papers were redirected into other tracks such as workshops and posters. And we also had the industry track, where 6 papers from key industries were presented, and also the work in progress track. We had 9 work in progress papers, and 23 demos and 9 PhD posters as well. So we submitted our paper that was titled Joint Estimation of the Distance and Relative Velocity of Obstacles via Smartphone Active Sound Sensing for Pedestrian Safety. And as I mentioned earlier, I received 3 reviews with decision to accept the paper, which was a really pleasant surprise in my case. And however, it was according to the comments, it was not 100% necessary to add more experimentation. However, we provided additional discussions and experimentation according to the comments. And so let's take a look at the essence of our study. In this study, we try to predict the distance and the relative velocity of the obstacles in front of a smartphone user, and we propose a novel probing signal architecture that facilitates both distance and velocity estimation. And you can see the FFT spectrogram of our novel probing signal here, that incorporates both sweep signals for acoustic ranging purposes as well as sine waves that uses Doppler shifts to estimate the velocity of oncoming obstacles. And we also proposed a novel neural network that automatically changes input features according to the mobility of the obstacle. So basically our neural network takes into consideration the mobility of the obstacles to better estimate the distance and the relative velocity of it. And this is the basic idea of the method. So here we use the concept of smartphone active sound sensing, which use the smartphone of the user to emit some kind of a probing signal, and we use the same device to capture the reflected waves. And the reflections contain information regarding the distance between the user as well as the obstacle, and also information regarding the relative velocity and the mobility of the oncoming obstacle. So for mobility and velocity estimations, we use continuous sine waves, and for distance estimation, we use sweep signals. So here you can see the FFT spectrograms of sine waves that we recorded when an obstacle, in this case a walking person, approached a user who was holding a smartphone as shown in this figure and was emitting a sine wave and recording the reflected waves. So when the obstacle was walking slowly, you can see a certain amount of Doppler shift created on the sine wave, and when the walking speed of the obstacle increased, along with the walking speed, the offset of the Doppler shifts created by these relative motions of the obstacle also increased. So we use this idea to quantize the Doppler offset, and we make a connection between the Doppler offset and the velocity, and our method could estimate the velocities, the relative velocities of the obstacles with 0.19 meters per second error rate. And for distance estimation, we capture the reflections of the obstacles using impulse responses of the sweep signals collected by the smartphone, and these impulse responses contain amplified reflections of these obstacles, and if we stack these reflections of the obstacles according to the times they were collected when the user moved towards an obstacle, what we can see is that the reflections of the obstacles are getting closer and closer to the position of the user with time. So by using this phenomena, we can estimate the distance between the user and the obstacle. As well, in our system we could estimate the distance between the user and obstacle with 20.6 centimeter error rate. So let's take a look at the experience that I gained from attending PerCom 2023. There were really good papers and very interesting demos in this year's PerCom, and something that I found a bit interesting is the fact that this time PerCom was held in person, and however remote presentations were not allowed. So this part I copied from the website of PerCom 2023. It mentions that IEEE PerCom 2023 will be held in person. Remote presentations and pre-recorded videos are not allowed unless all orders of an accepted paper are under special circumstances that prevent them from attending the conference in person. Requests for such exceptions will be considered carefully by the organizing committee, and we are sympathetic to concerns and sentiments about our in-person focus. We will fully accommodate remote authors, speakers, if they have visa-related travel issues or COVID health-related travel issues. So, however, most presentations where the speaker was not attending was presented by a proxy. Hence, these proxies did not uh, accept questions from the audience for the most part, and this I think limited the Q&A sessions to minimum interaction. So I think that as the conference this year was held in America, some uh, nations had problems with acquiring visa to America to attend the conference. Uh, so instead of using a proxy who had uh, no experience in that particular research, I think it would have been better if the organizing committee uh, allowed them to do the presentation remote, or at least use a pre-recorded video in this case. So this was my experience in attending PerCom 2023 this year. So thank you very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.